Welcome to week 6, letting go of the fear of death and illness. This is going to be a fun one and something that most everyone watching this needs in their life. I think at one point or another we're all afraid of death. But death is just a natural part of life. Okay, so once again, welcome to week 6 of the Overcoming Health Anxiety Course. This week, we're taking on something that sits beneath most health anxiety, the fear of death and serious illness. Yes, I know it's a tough topic, but it's also one of the most transformative practices once you begin to shift your relationship with death. Okay, so understanding the fear of death and illness. Fear of death, also known as hold on. Cut. The fear of death, also known as thanatophobia, often runs parallel with health anxiety. Why is that? Well, because our minds try to control the uncontrollable. We analyze, worry, scan, and plan, hoping to stay safe. But in doing so, we trade peace for hypervigilance. The key insight here is the fear of death is normal, but excessive focus on it robs us of our life. When we're caught in health anxiety, every small sensation feels like a possible threat. The brain starts interpreting normal experiences as a sign of danger. This can lead to constant checking, like for me, I was checking my pulse, reassurance seeking, asking others to reassure you that you're okay, avoiding anything medical or obsessing over it. So for me, I would obsess over medical and missing out on joyful experiences due to what if fears. The truth is, it's not your fault. Your brain is simply trying to protect you. But the protection is coming at the cost of your inner peace. Here's a truth we all have come to learn. Life is uncertain. Trying to control every possibility only increases your anxiety. People who live with the most peace in their lives are not the ones with certainty. They're the ones who've learned to accept uncertainty. You don't need certainty to live fully, just presence and willingness. Let's name some of the common thinking errors that keep this fear going. Catastrophizing. This has to be something serious. Fortune telling. I just know something bad will happen. Black and white thinking. If I don't feel 100%, I must be sick. Hyper awareness. I feel everything and it's overwhelming. These thoughts feel real in the moment, but they are only distortions of your reality. And distortions can be changed. One of the ways we can change them is using reframing techniques. So here are some powerful mindset shifts you can start practicing today. Instead of thinking, what if something bad happens? Say out loud or think in your mind, right now I am alive, I am safe, instead of I need certainty or I won't get sick. Instead, say to yourself that no one has certainty, and that's okay. Focus on what you can control. Instead of, I can't handle this fear, try, fear isn't comfortable, but I can sit with it. Your brain learns through repetition, and these new thoughts help you find peace in the present moment. Here's how to practice radical acceptance. Radical acceptance means fully allowing life to be as it is, uncertain, messy, and beautiful at the same time. Here's how to practice it. Notice when fear arises. Allow the thought or feeling without trying to fix it. Gently shift your focus to the moment you're in. What we resist persists, but what we allow begins to loosen its grip. Avoidance only makes our fear grow, but the opposite, gentle exposure, will help you to heal. Try these small steps. Reading about common illnesses without panicking, watching a documentary about life and death, sitting quietly with thoughts of mortality without distraction. You're not trying to eliminate fear, you're trying to build tolerance to it. Here's how to cultivate a life-first mindset. Let's do it by starting to flip the script. Instead of asking, what if I get sick? Instead, ask yourself, what would I do if I wasn't afraid? Focus on life, not fear. You can also try asking yourself, what have I missed out on my life because of my fears and my anxiety? How much life am I missing out on? What if I could improve fear of death, health anxiety? How would that improve my overall quality of life? Here are some simple practices that might help you. Journaling about gratitude. So try journaling about gratitude when you wake up in the morning, one of the first things you do, or at night before you go to sleep. Or better, do both. Right? That way, if you journal at night before you sleep, your mind will focus and fixate on everything you're grateful for. So the last thing we think about before we fall asleep is what our mind will work on during our sleep. So try doing something meaningful or joyful each day. Do something that you truly enjoy, even if it's a little selfish. Spending time in nature or with the people you love. They've had scientific studies that have proven that spending time in nature will greatly reduce stress and anxiety in your life. So even if it's like a quick 5 or 10 minute walk while you're at work or before or after work, it's great for your health, but also for your mental health as well. So fear will fade when you're actively engaged in living in the present moment. This week's guided meditation is called Releasing Fear and Embracing the Present. It's designed to help you sit with fear without resisting it, shift into a calm, grounded state of awareness, let go of the mental struggle with mortality. I encourage you to use this meditation daily, especially when intrusive fear fears pop up. This week's journaling and action steps. The journal prompt is, what thoughts about death or illness make me anxious? How has this fear limited my life or joy? What would my life look like if I were to live more fully and less anxious? Here are some action steps. Identify and challenge one anxious thought about death this week. Practice radical acceptance at least once this week as well. Try a small exposure challenge related to this fear. Listen to the guided meditation daily. These steps might feel small, but they add up to something powerful over time. The key takeaway from this lesson: uncertainty is a part of your life, and resisting it only fuels anxiety. You can reframe thoughts about illness and mortality. Radical acceptance is the antidote to control. Gradual exposure helps reduce fear's intensity. And next week, we'll be breaking the habit of Googling symptoms and over-researching. You are learning to embrace life beyond fear. Every moment you choose presence over panic, you're building peace. You are capable of sitting with uncertainty and finding meaning anyway. And when you live from that place, fear loses its grip and its power over you. Final takeaway: the fear of death and illness is natural, but it doesn't have to control your life. The key to freedom is accepting what you cannot control. We cannot control the day or the hour of our death, but we can focus on the here and now and do what we can to improve our life through exercise, both physical and mental, to extend our lives and also extend and improve our quality of life. The more present you are, the less fear will dominate your life. Now it's time to put this into practice with a meditation called Releasing Fear and Embracing the Present. It's designed to help you release fear and embrace the present moment. Once again, my name is Patrick Furr with TransformingSad.com, wishing you excellent mental health. Namaste.